everyone, Natasha here, and around my home today I am in my kitchen. We've had another gray, cloudy start to the day and some rain off and on this week, but the beautiful daffodils are starting to bloom all around my home, which is one of my favorite signs of spring. So I'm excited to see some signs of spring outside, and it's also got me in the mood for some spring cleaning. Luckily, we're doing our Beautifully Organized in 52 Weeks series, and today is another day to work in our kitchen. So stay tuned for that, and welcome to my kitchen. Welcome back to my channel. I have been working since the beginning of January on doing one project a week from the card deck by Nikki Boyd called Beautifully Organized in 52 Weeks. And I thought it would be fun to share it with you here on YouTube. Gives me some accountability, and it's also just encouraging to see what we can all get done in a week or so. Today we are on to week 9, so I pulled the card for week 9, and this card talks all about cleaning our appliances in our kitchen. So this includes things like your refrigerator, your stove, your microwave, your coffee maker. So I have been working on some different areas around my kitchen this week, and of course you can decide how this looks for you. If you just want to do a little bit today and call that good, that's totally fine. If you want to pick a different appliance each day in the next 7 days and work on that, you could do it that way. It's up to you what level you want to take this, but this is the week to work on cleaning our appliances. And of course, if you follow the Fly Lady system like I do, she always says that you do not need to do spring cleaning or fall cleaning because we do our zone cleaning. And so each week of the month, we're focused on a different zone in our homes. And so when you're focused on your kitchen zone, you could be doing things like cleaning your different appliances. So if you follow the Fly Lady system, then this may be something you've already been keeping up with, and it won't take you long at all to go through and clean or just wipe down a few of your appliances. And of course, if you are like me and you love to use a timer to help you stay on task and focused, then be sure to grab your timer as you're working on cleaning these different appliances throughout the week. So without further ado, let's get started, and I'll share with you what I've been working on in my kitchen this week. To start off with, I was working in the kitchen making some soup in the slow cooker, and I needed some more hot water to add, so I thought I would take the opportunity to warm up some water in the microwave and get that ready to clean. Next, I had just made some hot water in the electric kettle for tea, and I thought that would be a great time to add some vinegar and let that sit for a little while I made dinner, and that way it could work on descaling the inside of the electric kettle. Of course, you could do the same thing with your coffee maker. Later, once the water had been sitting in the microwave for a little bit, I was able to add that to my chicken noodle soup I was making in the slow cooker, and then that meant the inside of the microwave had been warmed and that moisture had helped loosen things up, so it was a lot easier to go in and wipe down all the surfaces. Once I had everything wiped down, it was really nice to put the microwave back together and know that it was clean and ready to go for the next time. And next I moved on to wiping down and cleaning the outside of the microwave and under the microwave. I just had to show you the delightful surprise I found. I had forgotten a long time ago, someone, I think it was me, spilled some milk that I was warming up in the microwave, and I cleaned up the front part, but the back has been back there just nicely crusty and dry ever since. So time to spray that down with, I think I'll spray it down with the Healthy Home cleaning spray, because that should do a pretty good job of kind of soaking through and loosening all that up. And then I'll wipe it all down and move the microwave over to the other side and do the same thing. Okay, I just had to show you that I got the left-hand side cleaned and sprayed it down a couple of times with the Healthy Home Cleaning Spray just to make sure I don't have that scent of sour milk. Now we're gonna move to the other side. And this side isn't as bad. There's a little bit I need to wipe up there, and I've already wiped down the back of the microwave, so that's not dusty anymore. So I'll get to spraying and cleaning that, and then underneath the microwave will be in much better shape. Okay, now you can see that is all looking a lot better. Got that whole surface wiped down and the sides and the top of the microwave wiped down. So definitely much cleaner back here. And I also dusted the couple of things that were up here. This is a Christmas present for my friend Joy, and we made a coffee date, and one of us had to cancel, and then we've never gotten back to make it. So this is also reminding me that I need to reschedule a coffee date with my friend Joy so I can finally give her the Christmas present I've had for far too long. And this is definitely looking much better. It's nothing amazing back here, but it just feels good to have all this cleaned out. This is such a dark little corner, but I'm trying to show. So that's the microwave cabinet. And as you can see, I've got all my cords plugged in there, and then the microwave actually plugs in there. So I'm gonna move this cabinet out as far as I can without having to unplug everything, and just do some sweeping and dusting back behind and underneath. And then I think the fridge I'll have to tackle tomorrow. Lastly, I dusted the top of the plug-in and pushed the cabinet back in place, and that was done. Next, I moved on to the stove top. Some of this is buildup that came with the stove when we moved in, and I've worked on it over the years. The best thing I've found is the Bon Ami cleanser, which works really well on white porcelain, and that's what I use on my sink as well. So I did a few rounds of scrubbing on it and letting the cleanser sit and doing other things around the kitchen and then coming back to it. You can see I'm making some progress, and of course there's always a little bit of elbow grease that does the work here too, but I tried adding some blue dish soap to see if that would help, and everything I've tried has gotten it a little bit better, but I haven't been able to completely get it clean and white in these two areas where I think were the most often used burners. So if you have any tips or tricks for white porcelain and 20-year-old burned on food, you can leave them in the comments below.
Next, I tried making a paste with the cleanser and the dish soap and letting that soak for a little while. And that loosened up a few more layers and got it a little better. So who knows, maybe if I would keep working on this each week, I would eventually get through all the layers and get it pretty white and clean. But I've also noticed there's a couple of deep scratches in places, so I'm not sure if that's from me or from previous people trying to get it clean. And I figure if I can get it better than it was before, that's good enough to start with. So I'm going to leave it at that. There is nothing more satisfying than wiping off all that gunk and leaving the pretty white porcelain behind. It's definitely looking better, so I'm pleased with the results. Like I said, I might keep working on it, but I know that I got quite a bit of the outer layers off today. And look at the before photo to see just where we started, and the after results definitely show I've made progress. And the last thing I did was to pour that hot vinegar water around my sink and really cleanse and disinfect it. So that finished off the tasks for the day. When I've been doing a lot of scrubbing on bathrooms, or like I just did on that stove top, I tend to have achy hands by the end of the day. So it really helps when I use the Helio lotion from Jordan Essentials, because it has magnesium for one. So since those muscles just got to work out, the magnesium helps to replenish and help with some of that achy feeling. And then the helichrysum is a deeper pain relieving essential oil. And the Phyto Essential Blend is things like aloe, green tea, chamomile, and seaweed extract. So those will all help just relieve some of that achy and tired muscles that I have in my hands and my wrists. So I love this. It's a light winter mint scent and just really does help with that achiness that normally I would have when I've done a lot of work with my hands.
One of the things I really need to do is pull the refrigerator out from the wall, and I'm sure for any of us this is kind of a challenging project. In our case, because our home is 100 years old, this side of the kitchen is pretty unlevel, and the last time that my husband and I pulled the refrigerator out, which was maybe 5 years ago, I can't remember if it was pre-pandemic or during the pandemic, but when we pulled it out, we cleaned back there. It was part of that defrosting process because it had started to freeze up. And we did our best to level it when we pushed it back. But again, because the floors are so uneven here in the kitchen, it's going to be challenging for me to get it level again. So I'm going to do my best. After I've cleaned behind the refrigerator, I'll just push it back, get out the level, and see if I can get it as level as possible. And at least then I'll know that there isn't a big collection of dust back there, which of course is going to make the fridge run poorly. So wish me luck, and here we go. Okay, so here's the aftermath. I definitely have some dust I need to clean up, a few magnets. It looks like we had a playing card that got lost back there. And this and some of these shims are what we were using to try to get the fridge level. And I don't know, I feel like I need to kind of reevaluate, maybe look at the feet on the fridge and see if there's a way I could get it leveled without having to shim it so much. So we'll see. I'm gonna first get the vacuum out, pick up some of the bigger pieces, and then get this all vacuumed and dusted. And of course, the back of the fridge needs a good vacuum as well. So let's get started on that.
I think I'm going to actually attempt to take off this back panel. It looks like there's just a couple of screws holding it on, and I can see there's quite a bit of dust buildup behind these fins. So wish me luck. Hopefully that is not too hard to take off and put back on, but I know that it'll help a lot to get the inside dust bunnies all cleared out. So this is why I thought it might be a good idea to get that off and clean. It actually looks like this side, there isn't much for it to collect on, but I could just see this collection of dust when I was trying to vacuum. So I'm gonna clean that, and hopefully that will help everything run a little bit better too. Much better than it was. I got that all cleaned out. I'm kind of anxious to get this back on and get the screws back in place just so I know I haven't lost anything and I can do that part successfully. So I'm going to tackle that next, and then I'll work on wiping down the floor. But even though it's not perfect, I know that this is way better than it was, and surely it will help. Okay, that is as good as it's gonna get. A lot of this is water damage that was here when we moved in. I think maybe what was here before was some kind of a water dispenser, because there's a hot and a cold water line coming up from the basement. But of course for the fridge, we only need the cold water line. And I even vacuumed back here and got the baseboard a little cleaner. And this is, I know it looks like a piece of paper, but it's a piece of laminate that we just attached there because there was a hole in the floor. Of course, all of our appliances were gonna fall in there. So that, I'm sure, was where there was a heat register at some point. When the previous owners bought this house, there was only knob and tube wiring. And originally when the house was built, they heated with coal. So in a lot of the rooms, there's little burn marks on the floor from the coal. So, you know, just is part of the character of the home. But back of the fridge is nice and clean, and now I'm ready to start pushing the fridge back and trying to level it. There we have it. The fridge is back in place and plugged in and running like normal, and hopefully going forward it'll run even better now that I've cleaned out behind there. So it feels really good to have that task completed. I'm going to clean up, put away the vacuum and the level and a couple of the tools that I used to make sure everything was adjusted properly. And it feels really good to have that appliance done. There we have it. I've gotten quite a few of my appliances in much better shape this week, and it feels really good to go forward knowing the next time this zone comes around in my zone cleaning, it won't be nearly as challenging, and it'll be just a matter of maintaining some of the good work we did this week. So I hope that was motivating and inspiring for you to jump into the kitchen a little bit and get some deep cleaning done on your appliances. Now I'm gonna put our week 9 card to the back, and that way we'll be ready to pull the card for week 10 next week. I'd love to hear in the comments below if you were working on some of your appliances this week and how it went. Let me know your favorite cleaning tips and tricks around the kitchen, and don't forget to subscribe so you can see all of my videos. I'll have my planning video up this Sunday, and I'm excited to share a little tweak to my daily planning system, so be on the lookout for that if you're a planner lover like me. And then on Tuesday, of course, I have my Tiny Tidy Tuesday video that's part of a fun collaboration and is helping me get through my basement one box at a time. And other than that, I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Have a good one. Bye.